Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. As Tim mentioned, today I have 6 items, 4 water use permits and 2 contracts. Before I get started, I just want to talk about the first 3 permits that we're going to talk about today and kind of show how they are related. The overall project that we're talking about is commonly known as Suwannee Farms. However, there's actually multiple owners that are associated with this existing permit. And the desire of the owners is to try to separate the permit into their legal ownership without making any change in the allocation. Their desire is into the future. They understand that right now they have agreements and they're working together, but into the future their own owners may make decisions and they may want to go off into their own separate areas. I'm going to show you, as you can see on the map, the land associated with the existing permit is outlined in yellow. So if I can try to do this, my little green. So we have this area here, this is the existing permit, including this area here. All of that is under the existing permit today. However, again, due to the ownership, they want to be able to break that allocation into 3 ways. So they want the new permits to be for the Suwannee Farms. It's going to keep the red area here to your left. Seldom Rest is the blue. And then the project name Seldom Rest Diversified will be in the yellow. You will notice that new permits and the modification do not add any additional land, nor additional wells. They keep their existing duration. They are not asking for any increase in allocation, only to separate the ownership. That is all they want to do, is to break it out. Mr. Steve Bailey, who represents Seldom Rest, is here this morning to answer any questions that I may not be able to if you have things for him. But I do want to mention that Mr. Bailey is a member of the Georgia Lower Flint River Water Council and is a prominent proponent of inline flow meters, and he will tell you a lot about them if you can have the time to ask him. So with all that said, my first item is item number 14 on page RM1. Staff is recommending approval of 2-83-00142, revision 5, for Suwannee Farms with 4 special conditions. This modification is to reduce the allocation of the operation by 4.1805 million gallons per day. But as I mentioned, even though they're reducing, their hope is to have that reduction applied to the other permits. Again, no change in the total allocation, no additional wells, no additional land. The permit is not within a water resource caution area. This permit expires in March of 2024, so roughly 11 years. The modification will also void permit 2-87-00040, which is for their packing house use. So they, at the time, they actually got an additional permit for that packing house use. Today they want to void that out, include it on their original permit. Their special conditions that are included are for implementing water conservation practices, irrigating only the target areas, alternative water supplies when they become available, and automated monitoring of their groundwater withdrawals. Again, I'll just repeat, if I can, that the idea is to take their original large permit and only break it up into the individual ownerships. That is your only desire. So if I can answer any questions.
This permit, although new, not changing anything, we go to our new rules, correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And
again, that's what.
Approval, and thank you for item 19, so I didn't have to speak to it.
Have a motion?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The next item is item number 15 on page RM11. Staff is recommending approval of 2-12-00065 for Seldom Rest Diversified with 4 special conditions. This is a new permit which will take over that portion of the original Suwannee Farms allocation. As I mentioned, they are not requesting any additional acres, any additional wells. They're going to keep the same permit expiration date. This, again, I keep saying that over and over again. But this permit is not within a water resource caution area. The expiration date, again, will be March of 2024, same as the first one, same as the original. And the special conditions are same as before, implementing water conservation, irrigating target areas, alternative water supplies, and automated monitoring of their withdrawals.
Motion.
Second.
Motion second, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item number 16 is page RM21. Staff is recommending approval of 2-12-00064 for Seldom Rest with 4 special conditions. The new permit, again, is taking over that last remaining portion. And as I mentioned, keep saying over and over again, no new wells, no new acres, same expiration date. Nothing is changing except taking this one out and putting it into the exact ownership. It's not within a water resource caution area. Expiration date is still March of 2024. Same special conditions: automated monitoring, alternative water supplies, water conservation, and irrigating of target areas.
Move the recommendation.
Second.
Motion second, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
just out of curiosity, were they monitoring their withdrawal prior to these changes?
I believe they were.
They were part of our voluntary monitoring network, so they were part of that. They were voluntarily doing that. Now it's actually a condition of the permit. So now we actually get, and we'll get all of them. So I think we only had we had a majority of them, but not everything at that time.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, the next item, the last permitting item that I have today is item number 17 on page RM31. Staff is recommending